Hey guys, Ben, the Outdoors Airgunner, out here on a beautiful wind-free morning, and I've got my 22 cal Air Arms S510 XS out. This is the regulated version, and what I'm going to do this morning is get my 75-yard target set up, do a little bit more practice, getting ready for EBR. I've got a new little trick I put here on the scope I'm going to tell you guys about, what I did there to help fix my problem with the elevation, and we're going to get some practice in. So stay tuned. This should be pretty cool. Hey guys, so Ben, the Outdoors Airgunner here, and I have been doing my best to get ready for EBR. That's Extreme Bench Rest. And, you know, I've been thinking I'm going to take the Air Arms 22 cal. This is the S510 XS, so it's regulated. And, you know, sometimes I've been able to get some pretty good results with this. Sometimes, just so-so. And I think a lot of it has to do with me, you know, getting experience pulling the trigger on this guy. A whole lot of it has to do with the type of pellets that I'm using. And then, you know, another part of it that's been a real challenge is that with just your regular set of rings on there, I had some BKL rings, and out at 75 yards, you know, that's a bit of a challenge to actually get the elevation that I need, the elevation adjustment out of the scope with just the stock set of rings, because the pellet is really dropping quite a bit by the time it gets out there, so you got to almost max out the elevation. And my buddy Rick told me, and I also got some comments that, you know, let me know that the scope isn't going to hold its zero as well when it's, you know, so close to being maxed out like that. So what I went ahead and did, put this guy down. All right, so what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and I changed out the BKL mounts for a set of these Hawke match mounts right here. And you know, I don't know if the mounts are necessarily going to be any better than the BKLs or worse, but what these allow me to do is these allow me to go ahead. I already opened the package, but allow me to use these things called Mount Inserts. And I don't know if you can see right here, but it says 25 additional MOA for elevation, 30 millimeter ring mounts. So basically what these got was they got me 25 MOA of additional adjustment on my elevation. So what that enabled me to do was, you know, really back that elevation way back up into a more usable range. And since putting that on, I have gotten, you know, quite a bit better results. So what I'm going to go ahead and do this morning is I'm going to get my target set back up out here at 75 yards. I'm going to go ahead and sit down on my good old shooting table over there, and I'm going to just shoot this thing out. I've got it freshly topped off with some air. I'm going to go ahead and grab me some of those Air Arms 18 grain pellets, and I'm just going to do some more practice, and we're going to see if I can get any better results now that I've gone ahead and made these adjustments with the new mounts and the mount inserts. See if that helps. Just a little explanation for maybe some of you that don't understand what those mount inserts actually are is they're pretty simple. It's just, I mean, you could accomplish the same thing, you know, with like folding up some playing cards or something. But, you know, if you're going to spend like $1,600 on a rifle and another almost $1,000 on a scope, I mean, come on, top the $8 or $9, whatever it is, get the right mount inserts. You know what I'm saying? So what these are is it's a plastic piece that perfectly fits underneath the back and the front scope mount here, just on the bottom. And what it does is it gives you a little bit more in the back than it does in the front. And they're actually also tapered so that when it does angle the scope ever so slightly downwardly, that it's actually sitting in there and resting on the mounts just with all the surface area is able to touch. If you'd have just stacked up a bunch of playing cards in there, what would have happened is that, you know, just the front sort of part of this mount would be crushing in on your scope pretty hard when you went ahead and tightened these down. So since they're tapered just ever so slightly, it helps to even out the pressure on your scope when you tighten these rings back down. And so what that does is, now that my scope is angled just ever so slightly downwardly, I don't have to twist this elevation adjustment all the way out and max it out like I was having to. I wasn't all the way maxed out because I know that, like you folks have told me, is not going to help to hold zero and keep it accurate. But I was pretty dang close. And so I was having to aim way down into the bottom of the scope there, and so it's just a little bit harder to get your sight picture, a little bit more difficult to actually use this scope all the way up to the 50 power that it goes to. I was having to use it at 24 or maybe 36 power, which shooting out at 75 or 100 yards, it's pretty handy to actually be able to crank that all the way down to 50 power. So anyways, guys, that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to be able to use this scope much more efficiently, and we'll see if it helps out tightening in those groups. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we have got the target set up out there at 75 yards. We've got the air arms all topped off on the air. Got a fresh tin of the air arms 18 grain pellets here. And of course, we've got the Hawke mounts and the spacers, 25 additional MOA of elevation there. So let's see how this can do for us this morning. Almost not a breath of wind, so it's really going to be either me or the pellets if we don't have decent grouping, because this is like just the perfect morning to shoot. So let's go ahead and let's start doing that before that changes on me. So I've got 16 targets out there, and I know this thing will do more than 16 shots of fill. So what I'm probably going to do is go ahead and go through, shoot every single one of them once, and then go back and shoot all 16 again a second time, and try to hit that bullseye on each one. But obviously at the EBR competition, you're shooting, I think it's 25 individual targets, so 16 and 16, that'll be 32. And if I can get a decent result over the course of 32 targets, I'll be feeling pretty good about heading down to that EBR with this setup here. So no more talking, let's start shooting, see how we can do. So on this first shot, I'm actually going to just use this kind of as a sighter. I don't have any sighting targets on that, so I'm just going to see where this hits, just so I know where to hold for the rest of them. All right. So you'll have to excuse that first shot, just sort of wipe that out of your mind. I needed to remind myself where I had this thing sighted in for the 75 yards, and now I've got it, so here we go. Of course, now my point of impact completely changed on the second shot. I don't know what the heck that was all about. There we go. Man, And that one went way up. There it is. All right, so that's my first run through here of 16. I'm going to do the next one now. All right, well, I went through twice, 16 shots each time. That's a total of 32 shots. And, you know, I guess if we take out 5 of those shots, maybe take out the 5 worst, you know, that's doing pretty good. So let's go ahead and go on down there, check out that target together, okay, guys? All right, guys, let's see here. That's a pretty good bullseye. That one's almost. That one's another almost. So that one kind of clipped it. Actually, both shots on that target. This was my sighter shot, so disregard that. But both shots on this target went right through there, through the same hole. That's pretty cool. You know, we got it clipped it there. So, I mean, this one's touching the red. And actually on this target, again, both shots went through that same spot right there. So, you know, obviously this one, I don't know what the heck. I was aiming up here and it went way down there. And then same thing on this target. I'm aiming here and it goes way up there. So those are my 2 whacked out flyers of the bit. So I guess if we took out this shot and this shot, take out, oh yeah, that was my sighter. So take out this one, maybe take out that 8 there. Maybe take out that one there. But I guess we had some pretty good shots there on the rest of them. I mean, we had all 9s and 10s, you know, and the rest. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think that, you know, we're definitely getting there. You know, obviously still got to do some more practice. Maybe I'll try a little bit heavier pellets. You know, I'm shooting the 18 grains right now. I could bump it up. I could try some 25 grains. I could try, I think they even have up to a 30 grain in a 22 cal pellet. So, you know, maybe something like that would work even better. Kind of seemed like the heavier I went, the better results I got with that air arms. So, you know, I'm definitely thinking giving those 25 grains a try would be a good idea. And then if they do good, why not go ahead and, like I say, try the 30 grains. I think I've got some 30 grains that are available to me. Anyways, that's about it for this little video. I hope you guys liked that. Definitely a huge improvement with the ability to hold a decent aim point thanks to having those 25 MOA spacers in there. That was an awesome $8, $9, very well spent. So, you know, if you guys are looking into doing the same kind of a thing, want to do some long distance shooting, man, just spend the extra few bucks. Get yourself the decent spacers. Don't try cramming some playing cards or whatever underneath there. I know you can accomplish the same thing with that, but man, those spacers really did the trick. Made it very much easier to get that decent aim point. And I know they're actually, like I say, an exact 25 additional MOA, so it's not some kind of guessing game. Oh, how many playing cards should I fold up and put in there? You know, it's just click those little spacers in, use your Hawke Scope mounts and your Hawke spacers, and you're going to get some pretty decent results. This was 75 yards. next video. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to imagine that I made it through the first round at EBR and that I'm shooting 100 yards. I'll push this target back out to 100 yards and we'll see what I can do there. But until then, this is Ben, the Outdoors Air Gunner, still having fun outdoors with my air guns. See you guys. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. Want to let you all know that every Wednesday is when my new videos drop, so be sure, if you haven't done so already, to follow us on Facebook, subscribe on the YouTube. That way you're never going to miss any of this awesome fresh airgun content when it comes out on Wednesdays. See you guys.